Between 1990 and 1995, terrorists in Japan attempted to unleash one of the deadliest toxins known to mankind, Clostridium botulinum, on the United States of America. Other countries have been known to experiment with this toxin as a biological weapon. I ask you to think for a moment about what would you do if suddenly you or a loved one had difficulty swallowing, double vision, slurred speech, and muscle weakness as a result of muscle paralysis. Would you ever think that these potentially deadly symptoms could arise from the food you eat or the air you breathe? Would you know what to do if there was a bioterrorism attack in your city? 4 of the 7 types of the botulinum toxin can make people very sick, and we should be aware of the dangers of this potentially deadly toxin. To begin, there are 3 forms of naturally occurring human botulism: foodborne, infant, and wound botulism. Inhalation is the form that could be spread in the city with the intent to harm people. Botulism is not contagious. Foodborne botulism can be traced in properly cooked food and home canned foods, especially those with low amounts of sodium, such as asparagus, beets, corn, and green beans, which allow the toxin to grow. In infant botulism, infants inhale or swallow the spores, and they activate in the intestine and produce the toxin. Infants lack intestinal bacteria, stomach acid, and immunoglobulin to prevent the spores from activating. Honey is one of these spores. Wound botulism is sometimes linked to crush injuries, but it is rare and develops when bacteria-infected wounds and multiply, producing the toxin. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, more than 100 cases of botulism are reported in the United States each year. 72% occur in infants. Next, consider the signs and symptoms of botulism: blood in the urine, difficulty swallowing, blurred or double vision, droopy eyelids, slurred speech, dry mouth, and muscle weakness. The symptoms appear when the toxin interrupts nerve impulses, which paralyzes the muscles. If untreated, paralysis may progress to involve the arms, legs, trunk, and muscles of the respiratory tract. Foodborne botulism symptoms begin 18 to 36 hours after eating the contaminated food, but can occur in as much as 10 days. In infants, it can take 3 to 30 days for the symptoms to appear and progress, according to page 642 in the Gale Encyclopedia of Science by Brenda Lerner. Lab tests can detect the toxin in the blood, so a diagnosis can easily be made. Next in importance is treatment and prevention. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has a supply of antitoxin against botulism. Although the toxin is extremely potent, it can be destroyed easily. Heating food and drinks to an internal temperature of 185 degrees Fahrenheit for 5 minutes will detoxify them. Boiling home canned foods will also lessen the risk. This toxin has the potential to cause mass destruction if it is dispersed into the air or introduced into the food supply. The U.S. government developed botulism toxin for potential use as a weapon during World War II. A national surveillance system involving doctors and hospitals, along with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, has been established for botulism outbreaks, and there are stores of antitoxin should there ever be an outbreak. According to Mary Urbanano, author of the Complete Bioterrorism Survival Guide, everything you need to know before and after an attack. Always have food and water supplies in your home should there ever be a bioterrorism attack. It is key to understand the recommendation from public health officials in the news media. To summarize, we have discovered what botulism is and how it may be contracted, the symptoms, treatment, and prevention, as well as inhalation botulism, and what to do if there's a bioterrorist attack. I encourage everyone here today to think about food safety when preparing your next meal. I also encourage you and your family to have a plan should there ever be a bioterrorism attack of any time. It is necessary that we all stay informed in any situation of this magnitude. I am very grateful for the opportunity today to share my concerns of botulism with you. And it is my hope that I have provided an understanding to a worldwide matter that we all must be aware of in our lives and those around us.